Yeah. Let's, okay. Now why don't you get yours? All right. Get your list. All right. Okay. Now, one thing about you've been working a lot about blind angle. Well, with a weapon, it's hard to get there, right? So one thing I kind of want us to one is like you boom, cross step. Okay. You don't have a lot of time there. No. So when the hips rotate, cross step, do a stretch, whatever. All right. So he's coming in with his lead side is left. My lead side is my right. A stretch. Okay. All right. So just going to work a little bit. It's a little, how do I blend with this? All right. Well, simple. Well, it's going to work a little bit on that motion. Okay. Just to start out with. Anyway, actually, for that one, all we need is one person at a time. So why don't we put these? We'll do a little bit more later, okay, with weapon to weapon, but let's just start out that way. Okay. One thing right there, you don't want your energy to come up in that hop. All right. All right. The hips rotate. All right. Now something, but not with a heavy outward, with the cross step to get in here. Okay. So, yeah. All right, well, let it go. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yes, it's better. Okay. But just turn your hips. Don't worry about your feet right now. Just turn your hips, get off the line. Good. Now, cross step, and you're in. Okay. That moment of what do I do? Well, try to simplify it. Okay. Now, one of the things that's important here is that all you got to do is turn your hips, let it go by you. But then, yes, cross step and in. Okay. Now we have this motion where he grabs here. It's a little closer. See, right here, I'm in his blind angle already. You see what I mean? But the situation now, there's that one. Okay, so it's like, okay, good. I'm still going to come up short, right? I can wrestle with. I'm going to slide in a bit. Okay, got the game. All right. Oof. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So we have that cross step just with the body arts, but it does have its usages, especially with a weapon, right? Because you're in front more. You got more distance to cover. Okay, keep going. looser, freer. Right now, yeah. It's gonna turn. Yeah. Looser, freer. Okay. Yeah. The energy's a little too high. You kind of get disoriented as you try to move. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. That's getting there. One of the things that is important that entering motion. Now, to demonstrate classically that entering motion, to go to the other side of that motion. Okay. Now, one of the things is, see, I'm thinking about my feet, like I've got to get somewhere, right? That means my energy is kind of out there and kind of scattered. Oh. Right? So on this side, we've been saying same thing, move your hips. So, okay. Now, classically, this is done on this side, as he's coming in. Okay, good. Now here we go. Oh. So you see there's right? Right? It's a wider attack. You obviously need to move a little bit more to the side, but you traps. All right? So wider movement, but the hips create the movement of the feet. We try to do it as too much separation, head, body, whereas here, all right, yeah. Okay. So if we if we just hold that, you're coming in, there's this touch. And here, then we follow through on that motion. Okay. For that motion. Okay. All right. So let's complete the stress. He drives this way. We have this motion, don't we? The same movement. But right, it's easy. Easy. Okay. So let's I'll take that back. Okay. Continue. Okay. Paul, maybe just a fine point. Okay. But one of the things, this part's really good. I create subject object. Okay. Now, right about here, for example, peripheral vision. All right. Oh. Energy flows a little more freely. The way that Robert Koga explained it to me once, it was interesting. He just said that when you're in that mode where you're engaging, your responses are easier. When it's reactive, you see more of the whole room. So right about here, he's just coming in. Okay, good. Oh. Other things are possible here. Okay, all right. So when you, good part, freeze, look, and then enter. All right. Okay, so just watch the vision. It's like a quarterback, that it goes in all of a sudden and he starts to kind of freeze Can't see the field. So there's Jerry Rice running right for a touchdown, but I don't see him. Montana. Let's see. So vision, okay? All right. So yeah, side vision. Good. Yeah, a little freer, a little bit more energy moving. Good. Okay. Okay. I think you get the game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Now, okay, what we're going to do, all right, this motion easy here. So still not in that blind angle. Okay. Got this here. Look, we go here. So shoulder to shoulder, we pivot into that blind angle. Okay. Good. Got that motion. And throw with both hands. Okay. So first of all, cross. Okay. This hand is coming here. It's now underneath. All right. We take that extra step. Now this is a wrestling match. Shoulder to shoulder, pivot into his blind angle. And you got that motion. Okay. Now let's say he's coming, he grabs you. Okay, good. We're trying to throw him. No, I'm going to pivot in the blind angle. Then we have a motion. It's very, sometimes it's not quite so, okay, good. That one, boom. Easy. Okay. So we're just working that same thing. Footwork, same thing. But we're going to go here first. Step, even with the shoulder. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Okay. So focusing a little bit on footwork. Vision, that we mentioned, is very important, including subject object here. You see this way too. We actually could listen from Robert Koga Sensei. Because that sort of motion fast, right? You freeze when somebody comes in. But when you're seeing this way, you can flow. Okay. So as we're coming in this direction, good. Yep. But the pivot, 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 pivot. That turn gets you into the blind angle. Okay. Anyway. Oh, yes. You okay there, Paul? Oh, that did not look good. So just be easy there. Be easy. I just read where Brendan Pajemski had a abdominal muscle surgery. We don't want you to go through that. Just breathe in. Yeah. Whew. Just be easy. Feel, breathe. Everybody else do the same thing.
I know that.
Yeah. You need help
Okay.
getting up.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I'm just ready to sit for a little while.
Okay, good idea. Just take your time. Take your time. Yeah. Not what we want, obviously. Okay. Let's get back up and continue the pattern. Woo. I was reading where, what was it? Pajemski had surgery on his wrist, right? Left hand. But he also had a secondary surgery on a core muscle.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was I think it was yesterday. It was in the papers today. Had surgery yesterday. And yeah, he had a tough year. I mean, it was
well, he was on the ground. He was on his back more times than he can.
yeah, that's the problem a little bit with him.
Put his body in the line, but he was on his back a lot.
You know what's really funny is I was watching Indiana. Yeah, they're kind of similar to the Warriors. They spend way too much time passing on the perimeter, you know.
They did
And
spend a lot of time there, but that was the last
but
quarter.
they won.
Thunder fell apart. That's
Yeah, no, that was
both,
pretty good.
both in terms of missed shots and
Yeah,
turnovers.
yeah.
And missed assignments.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to
It
watch.
really fell apart.
Yeah.
The last, at least 3/4 of the fourth quarter.
But what I was trying to make the point is Warriors, they need to get more dribble penetration.
Yeah.
And so what happens when they get that, then they kick the ball out or they finish, right?
Yeah.
Steve Nash made his living, off of interior passing.
Yeah.
We dribble and, like was to meet Brandon Pajemski, I'd say study your Santa Clara alumnus. How he keeps his dribble alive in traffic.
Yeah.
And his interior passing. Because I've seen him do it, but because they really need somebody to attack. And then they kick the ball out or they pass the ball interior wise, right? That's what they need. And it was interesting. They won. I mean, what's his name? Matt here or somebody? They had a really good game. I mean, okay, I got to get back out there. Yeah. Okay. Now we're running into something that is it's a problem. Okay. Now, for example, we're here. We're trying to move them. All right. Now, why don't we try? You set, you create weight. Now, there's weight anyway, but when you set, you create more. All right. So, if he's coming in this direction, okay. Now, we'll try it again. Okay. Easy. Now, for example, just let go for a second. We do these movements. We're transferring. See the rotation here? Rotation. My attention is out here. Attention is kind of more my own center, and I'm more of a more flow going on. So let's just say right here. Now we come in, touch. All right. Now just a simple turn, nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. If, for example, he lets go with that hand, all right, I let go with that one. Now I try to move him, but really there's a lot of movement possible, isn't there? Yeah. Right about him. All right. Now compared to the other hand, I'm or get a little deeper into the blind angle, you got a movement. We do movements like this, don't we? In fact, this is easier than paddling a boat. Right? I can't do much with just my shoulders. Right.
Hmm.
I'm playing his game. He's not playing my game. Right? Right? So move. Okay, and go. And now you're leaning into me with your shoulders, which means you're looking to move my weight. Don't. Okay. Now go again. Okay. What's your approach? See, your approach right now, you're trying to move that way. I want you to see here. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's possible here. I got him in a straight jacket here. Both ends move. And it's connected to the movement of your core. Okay. Easy, easy, both hands. That's better. Now don't stop. Turn your hips some more. Yes. You're in the blind angle. He's the car. You're in the driver's seat. Now, right. Now, if the ignition's broken, you're in trouble. But if it's not, okay, you are in the driver's seat. Now, right there, don't have a wrestling match with steering wheel. You see what I mean? That's not what it's about. Okay, engine humming. Free and easy. Okay, go again. Now, right there, so you're trying to move that hand. Hold there for a bit. No, no. See, you put your weight there. This is a pivot point. All right. Now you're in this blind angle there. You try to turn one end of it, he's going to lock. We're going to have a wrestling match. Okay. Oh, look what I found. Right. Now here, for example, well, a lot of things are possible here. Right? Now, I don't think I've ever done that one. You see how freely it turns? We do these fire water changes, don't we? Yeah, good.
Oh.
All right. And then, he comes and comes to grab my wrist is actually easier here. Easier. I think one of the reasons we're doing the weapons is just to get for one, the footwork has to be somewhat precise.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't get behind him without the cross step. But once I cross step, I start even with the shoulder. Then the pivot puts me in the blind angle, doesn't it? And my hips are rotating. What am I doing? Am I going to move that end or that end? They both move.
Oh, yes.
You see? Yeah. All right. If he grabs here, I'm going to move this, and they both move. Ooh. All right. You yin yang, talk, and get along. Okay? Yeah. You get what you're doing is you're going this way or that way and putting your weight into what you're doing. And you don't want to do that. Okay, keep going. I'll take this one and let you guys go.
Okay.
No, actually, this is yours. Mine's over there. Sorry. I'll just put this over here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're creating a wall. Hold there for a bit. There's a sliding panel. One of the things are, yes. Now you're getting to get it, you're going to flow. You use a fancier term. Your movements are kinetically linked. Core, hips, ankles not interfering by setting or tightening. Upper body is a kinetic linkage producing flow. Okay? Huh? I lean into one side, the other side doesn't move, and I create a wall. Okay? Really, both movements are possible. You go that way or that way. Yeah. Yeah, let's see that. Now you're moving with a kinetic linkage. Now all you got to do is do that when somebody's attacking you from the front. Okay, instead of setting and going into old habits. Okay, all right. Paul, how are you doing? Doing a little. Okay. I don't want you to join Brandon Pajemski in
No,
surgery.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Got a little wind out of me, so.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
It didn't pull any. Okay, good.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things that happens, for example, let's say he's coming in this direction, you go this way. Yeah. Indecision like that. No, you are in the command position here. You understand that? When you're, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to drive the car. He's a passenger. He's going to go where you go. But on the other hand, if you don't, like, what am I supposed to do? Well, you're in the driver's seat. Drive. Okay? That's about it. So, clarify your role. That's better. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Now, what is you're in the proper position, but you're also appreciating you. You can be standing there, I mean, I get the ball underneath the basket and I don't know, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, I'm supposed to put it through the hoop for 2 points, right? I don't know. What do I do? All right. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Your position, the flow of the action, who you are in the situation. You drive the car. That's why you're there. You're not going to get in your own car. Go, what am I supposed to do here? Well, you might, but you'd be in a lot of trouble. Psychologically, mentally, physically, whatever. Okay, so that's simplify it. Okay. Yeah. Good. Good position. Good position. Yeah. Footwork. Good. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Then the next time somebody comes to grab your wrist, you come grab my wrist, it's going to be easy for you because you understand the command position. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? This is hard. That's why I decided to do it because you're working blind angle, right? With this stuff, you kind of need a little extra, like when you don't always have to pivot into the blind angle when you're doing the taijutsu, but here you have to.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. I mean, if he's going to come in this direction, I'm going to go here. I'm going to pivot here, but also,
Hey, yeah. Oh,
I got also,
Also.
and then we're going, well, and that's but after a while, you don't waste a lot of time. What did I hear? You go, okay, good, okay. Now I'm not fully there, but if I rotate the hips a little bit more, I get to be the center. He gets to be the circle. It's a major archetypal thing right there, right? But I got to find the center, and finding the center physically in the motion is understanding how to form the blind angle. That's a blend.
Yeah.
Center of the circle, circle the center. Nage, uke, uke, nage. All right, but that's good. Keep going. Okay, let's pause for a bit. Let's get over there. Hands moving too quick. Hips move.
Yes.
And hands. Now come in this way. Good. Not a bad position. Not perfect. But, right about here. All right. But I want you to look at this. Visual, frontal, reactive. peripheral. No, I'm still right in his gun sights. I take that step and do the pivot motion, and I'm right where I need to be. Okay? But I want you to clean that first part up. In basketball, what you do is you reach.
Yeah.
And then the guy who's guarding, you just committed a foul. You put him on the free throw line for 2 shots. It's a free throw. Nobody defends him. Right? So you don't want to reach. Okay? Okay, so move your hips. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I kind of want you to explore a little bit. Okay, so you're rolling off of that. I can't roll if I'm reacting. First of all, okay, peripheral vision, not frontal vision. All right. And I feel your weight, I react again. I want to be in the command position here. Okay. So if he's coming at me, I'm gonna roll off of his force. I'm just gonna roll off of it. If he's coming in this direction, I'm gonna roll off. If he's coming in this direction, I'm gonna roll off. He's still got power here. I'm gonna roll off of that power. All right. Loose, free, not set, not scattered, purposeful in the moment. Okay, go again. Roll off of it. Roll off of it. Better, 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 better. Now roll off of it behind him. That's better. Now we could smooth it out a little bit more, but I know you feel that. Okay. Okay. A little bit too much upper body in that one. Okay. Grab it. Here's nothing more you do with your arms. If you go back up, the hips reposition. Hi, how are you? Right? Right? Just in that position. You have to for your arms. Well, the hips are adjusting a little bit more. They're really appreciating. It's like getting a promotion and know you deserve it. As opposed to, why did they give me that? Well, you're not going to do very well. Okay? Cool. I'm going to go in there. I don't want to be promoted. I don't know what to do. Cool. That's a vision. So you're a little too much out there with your arms when you should be appreciating that command position coming from your core and your hips a bit. Okay. And psychologically, it's a shift. You get better muscling people this way. You get a workout that way. But that's not the game. Okay. All right. Keep going. Come on. Okay. All right. Now we're going to try David, let's you see the power in my hands. I want to be flowing there, but all right. Sometimes you need to be able to be adaptable. I'm going to paddle a canoe. My upper body is going to take it. There's a current moving through water, not. Okay. Oh, doesn't fact that we're not going to do this right this moment. Right about here. Okay, good. Yeah. Get the same command position, don't we? Now, oh, okay. Oh, he still wants to. Good. Okay, that position there, where it's harping upon the blind angle thing. But one, you're the center. You're the nugget. Okay, is the circle. There's when finding it, and finding it is a process. It's not like I got it. Yeah, you get it up here, but it's in the moment. And so kind of what I want you to see is right here. Boom, that's good. Pretty good. Okay. So adjustment I make. Now the whole term being kinetically linked. You got the floor. You got your ankles. You got your hips. Yeah. And we got that motion. I want to be Stephen Curry. Somebody passing me the basketball with the game on the line. I know what to do with it. It's not just up here. It's just every cell in my body knows. It's like, okay. All right. Night time. That feeling a little bit. And not only do you get into that center, but you feel like you deserve it. Once you catch it, that's an accomplishment. Most people never find it because they're looking for it out there. And you can do everything right out there until you kind of get the attitudinal shift here. You see? Okay, that's not very good. You gotta appreciate yourself there. Yeah. There's that really radiant stillness that has a lot of potent activity around you. And it's almost like, you win the NBA championship and you get the MVP trophy. Wow. All right. I mean, we're just creating okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Just follow the flow from there. Everything unwinds in its time and you're cool. That's our trophy. That's our MVP title. Okay. It's just about personal growth transformation. Okay. Is that a little clearer? All right. Now, one thing we can do. Now, I keep rotating. Yeah, I've produced another blind angle right there. All right. So we go here. We get to here. Maybe he wants to lower his shoulder into me. Good. Right? Easy. when I set to move him, he countersets. And let's just say we get in this position. He's expecting me to kind of do something. But I want to see, I try to move this in, or I try to move that. What if they both move? And what if both movements are tied to my feet having a good ground, my ankles being loose and free, my hips coordinating the movement. So the movement is kinetically linked. I'm not out here trying to move the extremities. I'm getting a relationship. He comes in this direction. I take it. You sort of glide through things. Oh, right. He gets to experience what it's like to create a straitjacket for himself. Okay? So all we're doing is just looping it through. Again, what end moves? Hold this. Let's see, he's coming to kind of EQ. What do? I push him. I twist him. What if we do both? Yin and yang are always connected. If he's coming in this direction, okay, good. Huh? Or if he's coming in that direction, see, I roll off of it, and I can go this way pretty easily. You're in an endless flow pattern. Your mind is relaxed, connecting to what's out there without reacting to it. Your breathing kind of settles deeper. Your system appreciates it because you're not being stressed by what's going on out there, by censoring this, which pushes you out there. You're kind of in a flow dimension, kinetically linked. That's a description of the body movement. But that's why Aikido was hard. If he's coming in this direction, Ikkyo, what do? Twist, push. What if they do that? So you understand that both ends move. You don't, and the patterns are very free. If he's coming in this direction, boom, everything. And there you are in that command position. Cool. And part of it is you can touch it, but until you realize that you have to appreciate yourself there, you're going to be looking for someone out there, which makes you kind of off your center. And you can be sitting in that command position and torturing yourself. You got to be used there. Not sloppy. Not sloppy. Not scattered. But easy there. Okay? So let's have that picture and see what happens. Okay? Okay. Actually, this belongs to somebody else, David. Okay. Let's go. Hmm, no problem. I, same thing right there. That's that term a lot of times is, I mean, it's like, especially with weapons, you don't get deep enough to get a full blind angle situation, center to circle, circle, center. So a lot of times you pivot into it. Kodigaishi is one of the major ways of kind of looking at that. All right. So what we're doing a little bit today, because when your footwork has to kind of be precise, you can't be stumbling over your feet and dealing with a weapon. Okay. But two, there's subtle things like, for example, here, you know, I'm going to go here
Ah,
and a freeze. Well, he's. Now, right here, the hips will get me there. Right. Physically, I'm standing there, but I'm not kinetically linked. There's the ground, there's the ankles, there's hips. Then there's what's happening out there. Then I like throw all that there, do something dumb. Or something more like. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's quite a challenge doing any basic if you kind of look at it from a certain sense where what you're almost doing is, you know, you're to really get the movement, there's you've got a mind, you've got a body, you've got interaction between the two. You've got your partner who has a mind and a body and a particular role in that interaction. And it's almost like the whole thing is like a Rolodex. And you're taking it apart, putting it back together. And when you get to a certain level, somebody gives you a more complex Rolodex. Bobby, all of a sudden it goes, oh, I'm a Robert. I get to do a harder version of that. And then you get another one and another one, right? You're still working the same thing.
try not to push yourself in the air.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, keep going. All right. Well, that works too. But one of the things, for example, let's get to this position here.
Right here.
Now, which end moves first? That one or that one? What if they both move? And then what happens right here? And then which end's going to move? What if they both move? Then some of the movements make sense. There's a center. There's a circle around it. When you're in the center, if that end of the circle goes that way, there's a corresponding movement there. That doesn't move and that doesn't freeze. When that happens, it means the center is detached, trying to push the circle. Right? And so when we get into this position here, we roll off of it. But only make it to your shoulder. Now, what you do this? Now, if you go that way, it goes that way. Hold with the other hand, and you'll find the straight jacket.
Gotcha.
You see the feeling you're creating a straight jacket for your partner.
Right.
It's kind of a cool feeling as you think, oh my God, I'm in a straight jacket that I put myself into. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you let go, then it becomes more like an e-kill.
That's what I was
But
saying.
if you continue the connection with your hand, you kind of get that
Yeah.
straight jacket effect, which is kind of cool. All right. Keep going. All right. Whoosh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes, for example, you do two hands. Okay. I don't like this one, but it's this one.
Oh.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Yes.
only because they're holding that, their hands wrap around. It's a, it's a Aikido basics you've probably done a million times. Okay, all right, cool, all right. I don't know. Okay, okay, good. And let's give that to David there. All right.
Thank you.
Basic movement. What we're gonna do is go here. Now, I'm gonna try to Kotegaeshi. Well, get that shoulder position. Pivot gets me the blind angle. Then we have this. Easy motion. Okay. Now, might as well use to get that. Okay. Right? And one thing you find when you're doing the weapons, the spacing is much more demanding. And so to some degree, you have to be a little bit more. See, a lot of people get the actual movement. And there's an area, I was shooting hoops yesterday, and there was a guy dribbling between his legs, doing all this fancy stuff, couldn't make a shot. He was jumping around and doing all that and that. He's getting a lot of exercise, but he couldn't make a shot. It was really funny. I was going, huh. He's been watching all that fancy stuff. Then you go, brick, air ball. I was thinking, but he's getting some exercise and he's having some fun. Okay, but if you kind of want to write about here, then say right about here. Boom. Come on in. You're in a good position here. All right, that's one of the major things. Every inch of that motion, you have to appreciate yourself. And when I react out there, I'm not appreciating me. I'm kind of putting something on myself that's not as good as it could be. Okay, doesn't mean you. All right, if you're a little too, I would say, narcissistic, it shows up because you get sloppy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to have a military parade on your birthday? Cost millions of dollars, It's a spectacle. It says a lot about people. That's not self-appreciation. That's the fact that he doesn't feel terribly confident, so he has to create all this bluster. It's the exact opposite. He's a coward that tries to prove he's strong by wielding something out there. Light on. Now come on in. Good. Well, that's more problematic. They kind of want you to look at, for example, here. Okay, we're going. Now we're going. Oh, we're on the other side. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Notice how here, which end moves? Well, that moves first. No, that moves. They both move. They both move. They both move.
Yep. Ugh.
They both move. Here, you may come to right to take it. Good, 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 good. Notice how I create the blind angle with that motion. Now, the thing about the blind angle, I can physically get it, but There's a lot of fine tuning that goes on. Ankles, knees, hips, which translates into the upper body, which links you kinetically. You can't just, it's not just, I know it, I understand it, but you're actively kind of fine tuning yourself as you're training. Okay. So come up short. Okay. Now I'm physically in it, but I'm too out of it. Right? Yes. Be creative. Okay. So let's continue with the Kotegaeshi. See, a lot of this forces you not to think, but to it's like a space-time issue. It's a problem. You got to dissect it like you're taking apart a Rolodex, and you're going to put it back together. Easy with it. Okay? So let's go one more time on the Kotegaeshi. Okay? Thank you.
So develop find any strength is you're not in the right place to take the motivation. Flow. Okay, that's that. You can be the first time. Very important. Where it's hold yourself again.
Okay. We gotta actually get going. So when we line up, because we're gonna bow out in a second. Okay, we line up over there. Okay. And some of the stuff that we do, for example, like the figure eights, the fire water changes. Now, what I kind of want you to look at is which end moves first, or do they both move? And for example, when I am going that direction to that direction, which end moves first? Or do they both move? Oh, going that way, going that way. Going that way, go that way. Oh, when there's a change here, boom, 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 boom. What happens is that both ends. Right? Now, what I do is I always hold creating a long end and a short end. Why? Because for decades, I used to do this and erect the shoulder. Okay, and then being stupid, I went back through it and wrecked the other shoulder. Okay, so what I began to realize after a while was if you hold with the long and the short end, you don't create that super torque in your shoulders. So since then, I haven't had any shoulder issues. But I want you to see right here where, and I like to pretend I'm holding a spear. So the long end is always the sharp pointed end. And when I'm kind of moving this way, boom, boom, I feel I'm in an energy flow. Boom. And I'm in a more tactile situation. Boom, 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 boom. So right about there, then you kind of, it's kind of like if you're interested in it, you kind of explore this one, right? So for example, if he comes in this direction, it's like you roll off of his power. Right? That's what we're doing. We're rolling off, right? There's a great NBA player, one of my favorites, was Earl Monroe. And what's really interesting about it is that most people do, we're coming forward here, they do the spin to try to beat the defender. And what Earl did, like I was watching him, I was going, yeah, this guy would have been a great idea to us because what he's doing, he's rolling off of the defender. And you know, like I'm over here, then he's going this way, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, he's rolling. See, in other words, the defender is giving energy this direction, and he's moving here, and then oh, he's going to spin over. And the way that he explained it, thank you. The way he put it is, I don't know what I'm going to do until I've done it. He's in an energy flow. And you know, it's so funny because the game is so different now because it's all about crossover moves and stop and go. And Monroe just rolled off of everything. Smooth. Never forced anything. All right. And he kind of brought a kind of more playground street creative sense to the game. Right. So I feel it's that way. What we're doing, you know, Uke is providing energy. Okay. We roll off of Uke's energy, and there's kind of a role reversal. Uke comes in very yang. We roll, it's the yin motion. We take the yang seat, right? Okay. And when you get that blind angle, you're fully the center to the UK circle. Okay, if you don't quite catch it, you can physically stand right where you're supposed to be and miss it. Because there's kind of what I would call the kinetic linkage. You got the floor, you got your ankles, you got your hips, you got your upper body in an integrated way where everything is linked. And when I'm out here trying to move this end or that end or trying to move, okay, I'm not in that Earl Monroe flow, right? You can, you know, I like puzzles, you know, and so sometimes I go to the playground, I still shoot. But I saw this guy yesterday, young, in great shape, dribbles between his legs and does all that stuff. Everything was a brick or an air ball. It's amazing, right? So he was getting a lot of exercise. All right, but the whole purpose of basketball is, you know, it's kind of like Zen, you know, in a certain area. And I was thinking, you know, that's really interesting. And I had a mixed day, but I hit my last 4 threes, and the last 2 were replication of the jab step left and behind the back, like I was trying to do the golden dagger move, and I hit them. And I usually know it's time to quit when the whole thing happens. I'm going to shoot. Usually I gotta suffer through a bad cheating thing, and I'm going to try to figure it out. And all of a sudden, it's like, wow, and it's a little bit like that stick just moving, and you're kind of in that flow. But that where you're working today was the added length forces a lot more precision. Okay, in other words, any idiot can take a Rolex, apart, but then you have to put it back together. That's kind of like a space-time problem. The Rolex was for Albert Einstein was the universe because he realized there were lots of gaps in Newtonian physics when you talked about light years. And he did a pretty good job of putting the Rolex of the universe together. And he created his own physics that explained a lot of anomalies that Newton couldn't touch. So for me, a lot of the Aikido techniques, you're learning a physical movement with a partner doing a specific form of martial art, but you're also to some degree, all those movements are like you're trying to solve a riddle of the universe. And one of the rewards you get by solving it, I mean, what's the reward for putting the Rolex together? You get another one. It's a little tougher. You give that, you get another one. Bobby graduates to Robert. Robert graduates to Nado. Nado hopefully makes it to Nado Sensei. That's Nado Sensei's map. And so today, everybody's footwork, I think you realize the importance of the footwork. Okay. And also, in terms of like when we get there, which end of the staff moves. But guess what? Both ends move simultaneously. Yin moves, yang moves. Yang moves, yin moves. When you're standing there in that position, you're in that blind angle. You're understanding the technique more than just where your hands and feet go. And then it's fine tuning your own system. And I like the term kinetically linking yourself. But it's more than that, because in the process of it, there's a type of self appreciation that hopefully you gain. You're clear. Even though you're doing a prescribed movement in class, okay? You're creative. All right, things flow for you. And Uke, your partner, is included in that. So it's kind of a team effort. Uke is the circle to your center. Likewise, when you're the Uke, you're beginning to feel, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're also getting input when you're the circle to the center as opposed to just the center to the circle. Okay. Hey, thank you very much. Okay, to put that away for me.